That's the crack that we saw from the exterior. So that is effectively the aperture or the lens.
So light's coming through that little gap and it's projecting a mirrored image upside down on the inside of the silo.
A series of purely coincidental factors have lined up perfectly to produce both a rare and beautiful optical phenomenon inside of one of Toronto's most iconic crumbling landmarks.
It was thanks to construction happening at the site that the discovery was made. Somehow an image of the world outside was being projected through the concrete onto the interior wall of one of the towers.
If you see over the extent of the facade, there's extensive damage to the concrete. That's just from weather and erosion over time. It's been a risk of gathering around the silos in the past that pieces of concrete or loose items from the roof could actually fall from the building, and that's prohibited us from allowing the public to assemble and gather here. So that's what we're trying to fix now.
Thank you. Totally. Is this an example of that damage you were talking about?
This is it exactly, yeah. The exterior of the silos has just been slowly, steadily eroding away over time. So just above us here is the crack in the south silo that has actually created this, what's known as the camera obscura effect.
Are we talking about that guy there?
That one right there, yeah.
There's something out here.
Meanwhile, if we go inside the building to the other side of the wall. It's in here?
It's in here, yeah. So you have to kind of, it takes a minute for your eyes to adjust.
Like right here right in front of you, right? Okay, nice.
You can see it on the opposite side. A faint image of the waterfront outside piercing through the darkness.
Is it upside down?
It is, yeah.
I probably filmed it over an hour and a half.
Jonathan Gaze was the photographer sent by the Waterfront BIA to document and share the site with everyone else outside, using a series of long exposure photos and then assembling them into a time lapse.
The last time I've seen something like this is probably a science experiment in elementary school. Also, where the crack was located made a huge difference. If it had been any lower, it probably wouldn't have seen any view. It just looked like light shining through. So it's kind of the perfect mix of circumstances to get that going.
The fact that we stumble upon this, I mean, how many millions of cracks happen in concrete and never produce this effect? So that's, I mean, it's just incredible as it is.
Bowen now saying the city may look at incorporating it into the permanent plans for the site's revival.
We're going to take measurements so that we know how to in fact replicate it on a more permanent basis.
It's a plan the Waterfront BIA says will likely fit into the post-revitalization aspirations for the property.
There's so much potential. We think that eventually the entire zone around the malting silos, from the music garden to the island airport, essentially will become like an arts and culture hub.
At the Canada Malting Silos, David Zura, City News.